Hey, we're gathered here this morning. It's just because there's one of my viewers, my faithful viewers, that commented. It's well, from wood to steel, I believe his name is Joe. He commented, and you could tell by his comments and by other comments too, I could tell that I hadn't resolved all the questions about this door actuator that GMC or Chevrolet or whoever made this is probably made in it could have been made in Canada for all we know in those days in 1999, but all the questions weren't answered. So I decided to endeavor back a little bit further into the investigation here. I'm one, like, as you could probably tell by the last video, I wanted to go a little bit further, but I had figured that the video was long enough, so I said, that's it, we'll leave it at that. And I wasn't all that satisfied, let's say, because you never know. The only way to know how something ticks, like the big clock, is to take the clock apart, and especially when the clock stops ticking, you take it apart and you look and you try to analyze why it failed. And why it failed, I have contentions, okay? Well, hang on. How am I going to do this? Hang on, I'll set you up differently there, and then I'll try and show you. So you hang in there. Okay, folks, so I got you on the... I'm going to try to mock this up, more or less, to show you. I don't know where I put the little gear in the center of this there, so we'll have to presume that it's there. Okay? Now this is how, see, the little gear would push on the nylon, and then the little wheel here is what keeps it, like, keeps the tension on the nylon so the little gear don't strip all that nylon, But in all actuality, the little gear inside here, too bad I don't have it, but the little gear inside here wants to, it doesn't only want to push this, hang on, I'll take a screwdriver. Yeah, okay, here. Yeah, so yes, all still in there. The little gear inside here wants to push this way, okay, and the wheel keeps it tight. But that little gear also wants to go this way. So it's putting a truss. See, this is meant for pressure on this side, but then what keeps it from going this way is the internal, we'll call it a truss bushing within here. And hang on, it probably develops a little bit of slack inside there, inside here, with time, and that's what would cause the motor to have funny noises. Hang on, I'll see if I can, I don't know where I put that. The wires for that motor. Anyways, we don't have to hear it. We remember, don't we? So what's involved now is we're gonna try and take this apart. See, the motor is fed through. See, it's kind of molded, but we're gonna try to split this apart here. See what we can do here. I don't know. Oops, I heard it crack. So, yeah, and Joe had a comment too about my chisels being a little bit too big. There, I got a smaller chisel here. Hang on. Oops. Oops, eh? Ooh, hey, it's coming apart pretty good. Whoa, whoa. A little piece. But that was extra, eh? You're not paying no never mind to that. There. Now we're going to try this side. Oops. Maybe. See, it's just... Whoa, whoa, whoa. There. So, we got the... Whoa, you couldn't see this. Hang on. I just remarked. See, I just took that out of here like that. And there. See, so the brushes are on the end. Well, it looks like it's well made. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Here we go. See that? It's 2 springs and 2 brushes, but those brushes don't seem to be the brushes or the contact points don't seem to be that short, so it wasn't failing from that. So hang on, I don't want to really throw this away just in case. I have an ashtray here. I'll put that in there. So I'm just thinking why, the reason why. See, it's all right in here. This is a permanent magnet in here, and this is just a DC, your normal DC motor, but the armature's not on the side, it's on the end. And if we look at this closely, it doesn't seem... Hang on, I'm gonna put my glasses on. Maybe I can see a little bit better. Ooh, they kinda dirty too. Okay, we're gonna shine some light on the topic here. See, there's one. See this one right here? It seems to not have the best of contact. Not like the others. This one here too. As I turn it, I see it's more or less the same. But it's not burnt. So, okay, there's something else I want to check in here. I want to check to see, okay, and this motor's just got one flat, this shaft's got one flat spot on it right here. But I want to see how tight that is in here. Okay, sideways here. I don't know if you can tell, but there's some slack. So this whole armature, just by the force of it, was pushing, eh? And the back side seems kind of dry. So maybe, see this here, inside here, is very dry, and it's loose. So with time, I think with time, it's developed some slack within, because there's not even a brass bushing, there's nothing in here. It just polycarbonate. That's what this is made out of, polycarbonate. It's strong, but and what is it I was looking for? Yeah, the insides here. Can you tell? Hang on, I'm gonna try and shine some light. See the lubrication in the bottom there? It seems like it's very dry too. It's not worn though, because if I if I put the armature in here, ooh, she's not moving sideways on it. No, so she's pretty good. She as in he. She's pretty good, but oh, now we know where it's made. It was made in. It was assembled in Mexico. The motor, anyways. Okay, this is another thing I wanted to talk about, eh? The motor is made in Mexico, but I believe. Okay, hang on. We're gonna put this back together, but not quite. See, this is a press fit too, eh? But I don't have the brushes in here or the springs, eh? It just this is a press fit, and in Mexico the Mexicans oops they probably have a jig and they put this in and it closes it all, and or maybe just by the screwing of the screws it puts it all together. So that's why these two contacts come here, and then the two springs are here, and the contacts for the armature are on the end of the springs. How do they hold that? Hang on. I don't know. Oh, it's in the sleeve. Okay. So hang on there. I'll put you back on the tripod there, and we'll talk some more. Okay. Oops. Wow. Yeah, I'll take them off. In retrospect, from what we've seen, the Gators Museum in haberdashery can conclude that maybe lack of lubrication. But okay, my question that comes to mind is, how come I'd have one out of three? Like there's three on the truck. Well, there's just one that's failing. It wasn't working, and the three others are still going. See, because when you unlock and you lock, all four are activated, eh? So they all get the same use, and there's one that failed. So trying to find the reason. Needless to say, this will never go back again. But going back to what Joe's, well, it's not Joe's wood to steel, it's from wood to steel. What his contention was, is there was a lack of lubrication. Well, I could see in the bottom here there is, because you can tell whatever they put, the silicone grease or whatever, it was kind of dryish. And at the top end, I couldn't see none at all. So, but there is some wear in the polycarbonate here at the top, and then it gives the shaft a little bit of wiggle, but that would never inhibit this enough unless the armature's like really touching the permanent magnet in the motor. If the armature comes tight to the permanent magnet, well, then it'd give it some restriction and it'd keep it from turning. It would have benefited from some lubrication, and maybe that's a way. If I do decide to take the one on the passenger side off, I don't know if I can take this apart without, like, I'm sure one could put this all back together, but it's very, like, it's a precarious thing, eh? Like, it's glued, it's all glued together. I not too much of a dainty type of guy, and when these little springs starts flying all over. But I have 2 springs and 2, I forget, brushes. That's what I was looking for. I have 2 brushes and 2 spare springs. So if they go flying, well, I know where there's some more. I have an extra motor in this one here. So I got parts to put it all back together, but sometimes you speed. It's just like, okay, I wanted to talk about this a little bit. It's all right. This thing's worth 50 some bucks, okay, on Amazon. This actuator, but it's just like somebody brings you. I'm a welder, okay. Like Joe, okay. For instance, if I brought you an old rake, that broken, and I tell you, you want to weld that for me? Well, in your mind, right away, you say, well, I can spend 15 minutes welding a rake that's worth 20 bucks. So there's no rhyme or reason. So this here, if you take it apart, I'm sure you're going to, I'm sure half an hour anyways, maybe more. Yeah, and you're going to have a hard time. Like these little brushes, to put that all back together once you've lubricated it. It may be a way to save it, but the time you spent to try and save it is not worth the money it's going to cost you just to put another actuator on and be done with it. Well, I don't know. Maybe it depends on where you are in your life. Hey. And this even has, right here, that's a little foam, and it's a breeder. It's a breeder. Yeah. It's these Mexicans, they see, you can even see on the end. You can see the foam there, right here. See on the end, it's kind of yellowish there color. I don't know if that'll show on here. But anyways, I'm admiring how it's made. No, I think a solenoid, and I had a comment too, is they could have done the same thing with solenoids, but they would have needed 2. No, just one would have done it. If you have a solenoid pull and spring, the spring brings it back, or else a dual solenoid, I don't know, price-wise. There's a reason why they took this, and it could have been spring return. Like, you pull it with a solenoid, and it returns back to either locks or it unlocks with a spring. So, I guess we done our spiel on this here. It could have been better designed, and obviously they changed the design, so this wasn't successful. And plus, Dorman makes it. And if Dorman makes it, you can be sure of one thing. There's more than one of these that has failed. There's more than me that had a problem with this on a vehicle. But that's neither here nor there. Now, I think we've extended this as much as we could. I'm just trying to bring a conclusive conclusion to this one. So, okay, folks, I don't know if you learned anything. I did. I realized that maybe I could have saved it, like Joe said, with a little bit of lubrication. But, I'm not sure of that. The brushes weren't worn, not at all. So it wasn't at its life expectancy, or just the wear, just the way, like, this is designed, this action here. It's got a little, well, you can tell just by the look of this, on the side where the little wheel is, well, it's got some support, so it's not pushing on the bushing. But as it wants to push on that, it's pushing on the shaft, and that shaft has nothing holding it on the other side. It's just more or less bushing by the polycarbonate plastic of this. So that's not the best. So that's it. That's the conclusion, folks. So comments are welcome if you if you think of something else that I haven't thought of. We got a lot of work coming up on my limousine here, eh? We always trying to keep it more or less like it was, but not quite, eh? Don't forget, eh? We took the air condition out of this thing, eh? Because in the 50s and 60s, we didn't have no air conditioning in cars, and there's no need for that. Here in Canada, 2 weeks, eh? And we don't, it's not like in the States, eh, where you need it most of the year. Here, 2 weeks is real hot, so you can open the windows and so, okay. I salute you all. Comments are welcome. And we'll see you in the next one.